And we're live.
Wonderful. Yep, I can hear you,
Excellent. Then
and I
go
can hear
ahead.
myself as well.
Then everything's on the green.
Okay,
Welcome
if it's
back.
okay with you, I'm going to mute you now.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And welcome back to Complete or Perish, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined once again today by my phenomenally talented and extremely handsome cohort, Lead Von E.
Oh, thank you very much. Yep, I am here as well.
And
So,
let
yep.
me just catch you up for those of you who may not have tuned in for my stream on Thursday morning. I have obtained all of the blaze rods that I need on this world. It took me a few tries to be sure, but we've finally reached the milestone that killed me the last time James was on. So now,
Yes, you had found you were in the immaterium, the warp, whatever it is in this universe.
it's called the Nether, James.
Okay, yeah, and you were being attacked by demons, or whatever it is.
Oh, I was being attacked by blazes and wither skeletons.
Right.
Now it's just pigs. Well, hogs.
So you haven't encountered any of the fiery ones yet?
Oh no, I've already encountered the fiery ones and have dealt with them accordingly. Now,
Ah.
however, I have to, find the other type of rare material that I need, and that is going to be a little trickier.
Hmm.
Not least of all, because this is the wrong kind of biome. We're in a red forest, and we would need a blue forest. However, this chap down here, assuming he doesn't go berserk at the mere sight of me, may be able to help us. Hi there.
I never get over that.
Try again.
It is an interesting way of initiating trade.
Just shove a gold bar at him.
Oh, is that what that is? That looked like a piece of pork. It looked like you were giving him like it looked like you were going like all sorts of Godfather on him. It's
No,
like
that's not what's going on here. I am handing him gold bars in the hope that eventually one of the trades he pulls out will be for ender pearls. Or, at the very least, additional obsidian that I can use for making a portal as and when I reach wherever it is that ender pearls can be found.
yes, I'm definitely starting to see the RNG-ness of this.
Yes, however, I
I'm
have
starting up
now
my own
got
world. Then.
2 ender pearls. So we're two
Well,
down,
congratulations.
2 down, and probably something on the order of about 12 to go.
My world is incredibly tiny. I
Your
believe
world
that
is
I need to make it. Yes, it's not. Hang on. How do I make this full screen? Uh,
Usually Minecraft plays in a windowed form by default. So you would make
yes,
it
I'll.
full screen by pressing the
Oh,
maximize button.
yes. Just there we go. Back to. Oh. So yeah, I ended up spending. How long was it? Maybe 1, 2. I think I ended up spending at least a couple of hours today investigating the current state of stonks,
Ah, yes. And
and that was very amusing.
walk me through it, James. I know my own take on this, but why have you found the current events in Stonks to be so interesting? You know, apart from the fact that Elon Senpai tweeted out, Game Stonk.
Well, when I was like in my teenage years, I was really big into business and have been really big into business for a long time, at least in the sort of theoretical aspect of it.
Okay.
Certainly in regards to things like personal finance.
And I seem
And
to
many of
recall
the
that immediately
Hmm?
after high school you tried running an internet cafe, right?
Yeah, I did, and that failed massively because while I was very interested in the theory of business, I'd never actually run a business before, and so I really didn't have a clue what I was involved or what one needed to do in order to succeed.
Gotcha.
But one of the things that was a constant in my research and sort of interest in business was this was many of the commentators would take an incredibly anti-establishment stance on the finance world in general, as mostly as a marketing tactic, but also because I genuinely believe that they fully believed what they were selling. You know, they had most of them had drunk their own Kool-Aid. But just because they drunk their own Kool-Aid, that
Damn
doesn't
it.
necessarily mean.
I died!
Wait, you do. Ah, I'm not watching you. It's my
Well,
stream is lagging compared to you.
that's fine.
I'm sorry to. There you go. Oh, you got killed by a hoglin. Ah, that sucks.
These things
I should
happen.
really be watching this. Okay, I need to be watching this on Discord rather than on through Twitch.
That's a fair
So could
notion.
you share your screen, and I will put this just so that I can see chat.
Fair enough. Is anyone in chat yet? Looks like you're still my only viewer. Which is going
Yeah,
to be
quite likely.
real awkward when this timer hits 0.
Ah, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I put out a tweet. If anyone's interested, then they'll drop in. But otherwise, it's just you and me just chilling with each other, which is fine. You know, it's what we do anyway. It's
Fair
just now we're
enough.
doing it publicly and letting people listen in.
Okay, you should now be able to see.
Yes, I can.
There you go.
Cool. And I'm going to put this. I'm going to take the stream chat, and I'm going to somehow make it so that it is separate. From the window, I should be able to do that.
So, you were saying that you find you were saying that you now understand from seeing me interact with that piglin why it is that there's so much RNG involved in the top level speedruns, but something I don't think you can fully appreciate just yet is how much RNG plays a role in just the generic goings on in even trying to complete Minecraft, let alone do so in the least time possible. I've seen a couple videos specifically dealing with speedrunning, and they were saying that they think that the theoretical speed maximum on a unaltered randomized game has still yet to be seen. That
I can believe
said,
that.
with regards to these average games here, I've found that your starting biome plays a major role in how things are going to turn out for you, and also the structures you spawn near. So, I don't know if you saw this, but I certainly did in my quick look around, and I will relocate to see if yeah, that thing over there. It's a pillager tower. Loot's terrible, and the mobs around it are horribly dangerous.
Hmm.
And here's me mucking around up a mountain too far away from where there should be iron. But that down there might be a cave with iron in it. So, let's get to work.
huh, you now have a crafting journal that you just automatically unlock stuff in, and you can make things just by clicking on it in the crafting journal.
Yeah,
That's new.
it is new. If there's an optimally efficient way to interact with that feature, I have yet to encounter it.
Well, let me put it like this: it's very useful if you don't know what any of the craft recipes are.
Oh yeah,
Which I don't.
definitely. You can search things by name, so very helpful. It only requires that
Oh,
you
yeah.
know the names of things. Bludgeoning sheep to death with a wooden pickaxe. What could be better than this? You know.
So yeah, I was. I find the whole thing. I find the whole GameStop thing to be very interesting because all of the anti-authoritarian stances that many of the business and finance gurus that I grew up with, well, they're basically this. You know, it's basically about how the Wall Street system is rigged, which
how they're going to throw, frankly, a hissy fit if you rain on their parade.
Yeah, I mean that was never said. Basically, back when I was studying personal finance and this
Back
sort
when
of
you were
level of
studying
business,
personal finance and this level of business, it was generally assumed that Wall Street traders had a slight modicum of dignity.
well, no, it was assumed that retail investors would never be able to coordinate or apply the kind of resources available in order to operate at the same level as institutional investors. Basically, the rule was don't bother trying because you can't, mate.
I see.
The idea was that, I mean, there's a reason why Wall Street calls retail investors dumb money, because they
The
because of
general
this.
theory is that this sort of thing shouldn't be able to happen under previous models.
Yes, previous models didn't take into account both highly emotional groups of individuals who are, well, I say emotional. I think ideologically motivated is probably a better way of putting it. Although, having said that, it didn't take into account that. It also didn't take into account, obviously, advances in social media, which make communication far less costly and allows niche interests to group together. But I do find it very amusing that many people are framing this as a kind of are framing this whole thing as almost as a if you'll excuse me sort of going into politics for a moment, there are lots of people are framing this as a sort of socialist versus capitalist thing, which I find incredibly amusing, because if you go to the primary instigators of this whole thing,
is not.
no, I know, if you go to the
dear.
primary instigators of this whole thing, which
Yeah, I'm
is Wall
boned.
Street bets, they're not. Oh yeah, you are boned. Yeah, that was nasty. If you go to the primary instigators of this whole thing, Wall Street Trades, the Reddit group, they're not. You know, they are basically just. They are Wall Street, right? They are Wall Street, but individuals. They want to do the things that Wall Street does. They are hardcore traders. They are the reason why they are able to use the weapons of Wall Street against them is because they know them all, right? Because they've been using them all for years. They are an incredibly large group of intelligent, well connected within each other group of investors, and they are basically just Wall Street day traders, but with the exception that they
also happen to be Reddit shit posters.
Reddit, exactly, and they aren't part of Wall Street. That's the most important. They're not affiliated with any major brokerage firms or any major hedge funds or any of this stuff. They're just
internet.
They're individual. Exactly. They're individual investors, and I think that part of my investigation today was looking into these guys and finding out, who are these guys? That wasn't my purpose. I just wanted to check out Wall Street Bets. So I checked out Wall Street Bets, and your statement about them being massive shit posters is absolutely accurate. They are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The major
the major instigator of the current goings on is u/deep fucking value.
Yes. Although I personally think that that is a perfect name for somebody
It really
who is
is.
an independent investor and who is it's pretty much it. An independent investor who is basically just I mean, that is the independent version of someone like Warren Buffett, right? Because if Warren Buffett were a shit poster, he would call himself Deep Fucking Value, right? That's what his name would be. It's the same philosophy.
That's definitely making it into the description of the YouTube video. Quote: If Warren Buffett was if Warren Buffett was a Reddit shitposter.
Yeah, his username would be Deep Fucking Value because it describes Warren Buffett's own investment philosophy. Simple as that.
I hadn't made that connection, but as soon as you point it out, it's right there, plain as the nose on your face.
Yeah, exactly. There is nothing ridiculous about this particular username, his particular investment strategy, at least as described by his username. Obviously, what is going on with GameStop right now is not necessarily about long-term fundamentals investment, which is what Warren Buffett is known for, and which Deep Fucking Value suggests as a username.
Yes,
but that is irrelevant.
The other thing to bear in mind, though, I think this is possibly conjecture on my part.
Yeah.
My understanding of part of the reason behind the sudden push to invest in, to buy GameStop stock had to do with the fact that the company had reasonable fundamentals that would not have warranted this level of short selling on the part of hedge funds.
Gotcha.
So in that respect, it is at least partly in line with theories of value investing.
Yes, it is. This is correct. If that is indeed the motivation behind it, which I believe it may very well be.
Yeah,
It's
unclear if it's unclear to me at this time whether user Deep Fucking Value is operating specifically from that premise as opposed to any of the other ones. The memes about him certainly don't seem to suggest that, since the best one I found was a grayscale version of the image of him that appeared in the Wall Street Journal.
This may not be a great publication to trust. In regards to this particular subject.
No, I get that, but somebody just took the picture of him that appeared in the Wall Street Journal and put a quote next to it, and the quote was, "What's an exit strategy?"
Well, there you go. I mean, that's just it, isn't it? That is Warren Buffett's investment strategy. When was the last time Warren Buffett sold a share?
I mean, I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of that.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Warren Buffett is incredibly well known for taking long positions on shares. That's what he does. He buys undervalued customers. He buys companies that he perceives as being undervalued by the market for reasons that have got nothing to do with the fundamentals of the market, and then he just holds them forever. That's just all he does, right? And it's worked very well for him. Again, when I hear Deep Fucking Value having a quote that says, "What's an exit strategy?" that's literally what I hear, because it just sounds like he's doing exactly the same thing.
All right, well.
Yeah.
I've definitely been seeing, coming back to your earlier comment, I've definitely been seeing people... Oh, hey, Svoo. I've definitely been seeing the side of this whole thing where people are sort of framing it as capitalism versus socialism. I think it would be more apt to say that it's people are framing it not as a clash of ideologies. They're seeing it as a clash between pardon the purple prose here, but they're seeing it as a clash between the masses and the they're seeing it as a clash between the masses and rapacious wealth. That's the phrase I was looking for.
I would absolutely agree. That I believe is the more accurate representation, and certainly there are plenty of people who are seeing it that way. But there are also lots of groups and media outlets and individuals who see it as a clash between socialism and capitalism. And I suspect this may be because it's the only clash that they are familiar with.
That's distinctly possible, but my
Yeah.
sister, who would never be accused of being a philosopher, and who has a decidedly anarcho-communist bent to her worldview,
Mm-hmm.
even she has confined her shitposting on Facebook to mostly things that take the masses versus rapacious wealth angle, as opposed to a ideological bent.
Mm.
So
If you, yeah, fair
that's
enough.
at least within my own filter bubble and network of relationships online. That's the angle that seems to be predominating.
I can only go. I can only go by the small amount of research that I did in the last 3 hours.
Fair enough.
That's all I can go on. So I don't have I don't want to state that I have an encyclopedic knowledge of exactly how this is being framed by everybody. What I can say, however, is that I went on Wall Street Bets, and the meme that seemed the most apt, that was currently being circulated on Wall Street Bets, was a movie clip of the Matrix Revolution, or no, not Revolution, the second movie, the one that's
Reloaded.
got the arc. Yeah, Reloaded, the Matrix Reloaded, the scene with Neo in the chateau where the French dude, what's his name? I can't remember what his name is. Anyway, the French dude, he attacks Neo with his cronies in the chateau, and the meme consists of Neo as Wall Street Bets fending off this wave of entrenched vested interests in Wall Street, which are all named alongside all of the cronies that are attacking Neo in the chateau. And a lot of the quotes that come out of the antagonist's mouths during this particular shitpost consist of things like normal investors aren't allowed to get rich. Only we're allowed to do that. Things like this. And the way that Wall Street Bets is framing it is very much a case of the individual investor versus the large institutional investors. That's how they see it. Which is understandable, because that's what they are, right? They are exactly the same as the people on Wall Street. They're doing exactly the same thing, and they try to make money in exactly the same manner. But this is the first time that they have actually managed to succeed in manipulating the market en masse. Yeah, in exactly the same way that the hedge funds have been doing for decades.
As the ringmaster of this dog and pony show, I need to briefly derail us because our wonderful audience has asked a question that I think needs addressing. Svu would like to know, would you consider stock trading in fiction being a valuable topic? And for myself, I can say right up front, absolutely normalize discussion of investment in fiction, especially in YA fiction. I think it's important to try and get across worthwhile concepts to younger audiences, and that necessarily includes making sure that your kids understand how money works.
Yeah, I would probably piggyback on that. I would say that yeah, it's a valuable topic. Many for the reasons that Soren just gave. It's also an incredibly valuable tool from a plotting and storytelling point of view, because there is inherent conflict in the subject, and because of the unpredictable nature of the market and of the innumerable ways that you can that the outside world can influence the characters' plans in unexpected ways. There are lots of curveballs that you can throw your characters in ways that are no fault of the character. because one of the challenges that authors have to come up with is they have to balance a world in which the character has to deal with problems that are thrown at him with having characters that the audience can relate to on a level. It is important for readers to not believe that the protagonist is stupid, but at the same time, you have to be able to throw your characters problems that the characters have problems solving, because that's the nature of conflict in stories. A major error that many authors make is they throw. I mean, not always. You can do this and you can pull this off well, but throwing problems at your character that are of your character's making, that only works from a satisfactory point of view if it is part of the character's character arc. If it is not part of the character's character arc, then you tend to create a lot of frustration in your reader. And the stock market is very useful in that sense because, or just trading and finance in general, because it's an incredibly volatile system that can very easily and believably throw curveballs at the protagonist that the protagonist can have no way of, predicting reasonably. So in that sense, I would say it's also very valuable. You came at it from an educational point of view. I came at it from a plotting point of view. So, yeah.
Yep, well, it was always going to be a to each their own situation here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, 2 problems I see. 1, no obvious iron down there. And 2, these fuckers.
I actually quite like the idea of including finance in stories, in much the same way that lit RPGs create a feeling of progression through the use of story prompts and stats. It always occurred to me that you could theoretically do the same thing with finance and balance sheets. You could make the feeling of progress to be tangibly real to the reader by including basically an incredibly very, very brief balance sheet at the end of every chapter. So if you have somebody whose goal is, we desperately need to become a millionaire in order to achieve this goal, we need to buy back our friends from slavery who've been sold off to some far off fantasy kingdom, so we need to raise this arbitrary amount of money by trading in this sort of period of time, or else terrible things are going to happen, something like that.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna buy $1 million worth of shares in a brick and mortars retailer at the outset of a pandemic, and then we're going to incite social media into dogpiling on the stock to incite a short squeeze.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like I said, as you yourself have pointed out, this particular case is basically justified in a sense, because the hedge funds are heavily betting against a company that has, from what we understand, perfectly reasonable fundamentals. No, that's right. That's what they did. I think I recall the exact situation behind the beginning of this now. What happened was the traditional media and the hedge funds, they reported that GameStop, which had been doing quite badly because of the pandemic, they reported that they should start doing very well because of the new consoles that were coming out. And also because...
It should be noted in passing that quite badly, because of the pandemic, was, in fact, actually a pretty minor tick in their overall performance, though, if you...
Is that true? Because one of the positive things...
I remember hearing that the reverses they suffered with regard, or on account of the pandemic, were in fact lesser than many other brick and mortar places. But I think it's important to note at this point that Soren and James are not financial advisors. None of this is financial advice, and for the love of God, don't take it as such.
Oh, quite absolutely. Also, I do not hold any stonks. Just for full transparency, I hold no stonks. I may or may not like this. I may or may not like the share.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, there was the new CEO of GameStop is
Spoo, no, don't do it!
the new CEO of GameStop is one of those is somebody who has a lot of experience in taking companies from what's it called from retail environments and putting them online, which is exactly the move that GameStop needs to make according to the analysis of a lot of people. So the analysis
of a lot
was
of people. Good to know.
Yeah,
very credible.
Yeah, indeed. The general idea being that GameStop was actually in a fairly credible position, as in, got new console generation coming out, got CEO who's pretty good at transitioning companies to online businesses, which is what GameStop needs to do, and they recently signed a deal, I believe, with Microsoft was it with Microsoft? Yeah, it was with Microsoft, so that GameStop gets 1/10 of all digital transactions that go through the Xbox store, which is fucking incredible. I don't know how they managed to weasel that, but they did apparently. So that's pretty freaking incredible. So yeah, so GameStop, the fundamentals of it look to be quite well. And then all the short sellers are like, let's short sell this thing up to the hilt. And so they short sold it up to 130% of the total available stocks, which is freaking incredible.
I believe most of those are still outstanding as of this weekend.
Yes, although I also heard that the companies are running adverts on places like CNBC, just flat out lying and saying, they're saying things like, oh god, I can't remember what the company is. The hedge fund company that begins with M. Melvin. Yeah, Melvin. That's the one. Yeah. Apparently
I think it's
they
safe
are
to say
adverts.
that our major source is still whatever is hot on Wall Street Bets, since I'm pretty sure I have seen not just the same information as you, but the exact same posts.
Quite likely, yeah. So I saw the post that said that CNBC is running adverts that says that they've closed out their position. And
we need to take a moment here, James.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The timer just went off.
Oh, right.
Do you know what that means, James?
You means you need to start again?
No. It means that,
I don't see a timer, incidentally.
No, sorry, not the timer that was on screen. The timer I had going on my desk. Like, just my phone timer. I've got it set for 30-minute intervals, because this is the moment where, if we had more audience than just Svoo, I would tell people to like, comment, subscribe. Sacrifice your firstborn child! Give me all of your money! Go over to youtube.com. Find the Tavy the Terrible YouTube account. Do it! Do it now! Subscribe! Ring the bell for notifications! Do it! Do it!
Yeah, that camera angle is really quite Orwellian, isn't it? Let's face it. It's really in your face.
That's the idea.
I know, definitely. The guy that first came up with that particular camera move is a genius. I don't know if it was that dude you showed me, if he was the one that came up with that.
I don't even know which dude you're talking about, so...
You've only shown me one dude.
Like a director?
No, as in Minecraft dude.
Oh, you're thinking of Technoblade.
Yeah, because he does that camera move that you were doing just now, where you were like zooming into your face and then angling your camera all the time. He was doing that all the time in his video.
Yeah, during the Potato War videos I showed you. Those things were great. Incidentally, you can do that to yourself in Minecraft by pressing F5.
Right, yes.
Well, strictly speaking, you have to press it twice to cycle through the back of the head view and the front of the head view. I'm so focused on our discussion that I've just dug myself a hole and I've blockaded myself off, and I've got no idea if it's daytime or nighttime. That is... You know, I've been telling I've been telling anyone who would listen to me about this that
Yep.
the key difference in my experience between back when I first started playing Minecraft and when I started playing Minecraft for these streams is that I've really come to appreciate that Minecraft is a game like any other in the sense that it has a learning curve. And there's a huge range of probably non-obvious skills because the game isn't necessarily driving you to learn them unless you're driving to complete the game in something approximating an optimal way. But to violently wrench the topic back around to the stonks, I wanted to mention one other thing in this connection, which was that it finally occurred to me last night what it is that current events remind me of. It's like the old 4chan raids. Do you remember when 4chan raided the Church of Scientology?
I vaguely remember this, yes.
Yeah, this reminds me of that. A bunch of people realized... Well, initially, a bunch of people realized that there was potentially a fair bit of money to be made by having all of Reddit gang up together to make a pseudo-investment body and going after the faulty investments of a bunch of hedge funds. And then more and more people kept dogpiling in on it on account of the fact that,
everyone's really pissed off and annoyed.
Yeah, because everyone's really pissed off and annoyed that I'm sure many of them have their own reasons, but basically what it comes down to is that there is a great animus for the hedge funds that are doing this and then have the gall to complain about the reverses.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've personally got not as much problem with hedge funds, but I do absolutely have a problem with powerful institutions that can dish it out but can't take it.
I wouldn't necessarily characterize my gripe as being with a powerful institution that can dish it out but can't take it. I think that I would characterize it as my problem with them is that the method by which they try to take it is by a resort to, well, frankly, underhanded means.
Yeah,
you've got, either outright force of arms in the form of trying to convince the government to pass new regulations prohibiting retail investors from doing this sort of thing, or running deliberate misinformation campaigns like that Reddit post on Wall Street Bets was discussing, where they were saying that Melvin was running ads claiming, probably falsely, that they had sold off or they had closed out their short positions.
The logic being, well, if you've closed out your short positions, why are you running ads telling us this? It's like,
exactly.
Good for you. What's the point? What's the point in running ads telling us that you've closed out your short positions unless you're absolutely desperate?
I mean, it's definitely not doing much for the stereotype that the bottom percentiles of hedge fund managers are just the useless heirs of inherited wealth who have literally been born with a spoon in their mouth, or a silver spoon in their mouth.
Well, the people who operate hedge funds tend to be pretty smart cookies.
Fair enough. I'm just saying that the fact that they thought a deception like that would work against Reddit suggests otherwise.
Well, I'm not entirely sure if it's Reddit that they are. I suspect that those ads are probably not meant to target actual Redditors. despite what Reddit thinks, because obviously Reddit's got a us versus them war mentality.
Fair enough.
I suspect that those particular adverts were meant as a holding pattern to stop the people who actually do watch the traditional media and who know about the traditional media and who for some unbelievable reason believe the traditional media. I suspect that those adverts were directed at those people. So they weren't directed at people who are already in the game. I suspect they are simply a holding pattern to try and stop other people from coming into the game.
Fair
That's
enough.
what I suspect. I suspect that's what that
That
is.
certainly does make a bit more sense.
Not that it's going to do them much good, because so long as because unlike, for example, the .com boom, which was predicated by a huge number of rather reasonably clueless retail investors plowing into the market en masse in a kind of just wave of hysteria, that does not need to happen in order for the objectives of Wall Street Bets to properly pan out. All they need to do is just hold indefinitely, as they keep on saying to each other, just hold. Because so long as the people on Wall Street Bets hold it more than, well, quite frankly, any stocks at all, considering the fact that the institutional investors are on the hook for 130% of the stocks, so long as they hold on to even some of them,
they can, in theory, drive the price up to ridiculous levels.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not into. I mean, yeah. It's just, yeah. And again, another commentator made a comment which I wholeheartedly agree with, which is along the lines of it is what is going on is quite frankly a good thing, because obviously because it creates a check in the market.
You effectively, yeah.
If you have these sorts of he described them as social media activists. Whether or not I don't believe that Wall Street Bets can be characterized in that manner, but whatever you want to call them, when you have these groups of dispersed individual investors who are coordinated enough to effect this kind of a result in the market, when you have that as a potential thing that can happen, and as a thing that institutional investors have to actually take into consideration, then you are far less likely, potentially, in an ideal world, to get situations where you have these incredibly chummy hedge funds who aren't going to spit on each other and who will, who won't take these kind of positions, because while they may be chummy with each other and won't, have a gentleman's agreement not to absolutely shit on each other in these particular situations, they can't guarantee that these other groups on the internet or just in our society in general won't do that, which is obviously a good thing, because it's checks and balance in the market. That's what the market's for.
Yep. I don't want to be standing up here. This is a mountain. I need to go back down.
What happens on mountains?
Oh, it's the problem with mountains is that iron starts spawning in greater abundance below sea level, which means that if I find a hole in the ground up in the mountains, it is less likely to contain useful amounts of iron than a hole in the ground down in the plains or the forests.
Gotcha.
I suppose now's as good a time as any to out myself. I do in fact own a small quantity of GameStop stock.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Is that new, or is that...
That's new, yes.
Oh, that's new, okay. Wow. So you are holding...
Yep.
Diamond Hands Soren. I like it.
You know,
Honestly,
I keep
if I had
seeing that meme, but I have no idea the origin or significance of it. That's the one thing I have yet to figure out in this Wall Street Bets thing.
okay, well, I can
don't
enlighten you
know
on this.
what the Diamond Hands thing is about.
Okay, well, the diamond hands thing, I'm not exactly sure of the well, I know the reference. It is simply a long-standing phrase that is used in Wall Street Bets to refer to the the to refer to holding onto a stock with absolutely no what's the word care for the volatility in the market. So effectively it's saying if fundamental investing, if they are indeed talking about fundamental investing, then it's simply saying, look, just hold, just keep holding and never sell. Just never sell at a loss. It's going down, just don't sell.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just and that quite frankly, that strategy probably works more often than it fails. Again, not financial advice, blah 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 blah, but obviously there are times when the value of a stock will just go to zero and you will lose your entire investment.
Svoo, what's that face about?
That's TB, isn't it? May he rest in peace.
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, laughing out loud.
Oh, gotcha.
I always wondered. I don't know if you obviously can't confirm it, Soren, since you don't know the meme. But I don't know if Svoo knows or not doesn't know. But every single time I see that particular emote face, I am sure that it's Total Biscuit. But I don't know if it's Total Biscuit.
I see.
And I've never gone and looked to check.
Well, this platform definitely has the what do you call it? Definitely has the right culture of emoting. Hey, wait a minute. How did...
What? You're on top of a mountain.
Yeah, I'm on top of a mountain because I wanted to get a look around, but I'm just saying that I only just now noticed that Svoo managed to put T-Rex Luna in the emotes.
Yeah, you can use any emotes that you have access to as a way of either subscription or various other things. You can use in any channel for you personally.
My goodness.
So because Svoo has access to Golden T-Rex Luna on my channel, because he is subscribed to my channel, he can use it on your channel. No one else can, but he can. Well, I mean, I can as well, probably.
Fair enough. Yeah, somehow the origin of the Diamond Hands meme passed me by, but this didn't stop me from seeing when some person or group of persons went and made a, what do you call it? Like a Weird Al style lyrics parody of the song The Weller Man. In connection with events currently on Wall Street Bets.
I'm not familiar with this song.
It's... okay, I had occasion recently to look up the origin of it. The Weller Man specifically refers not to a single ship, but rather to a group of ships which serviced... what do you call it? They serviced whaling boats off the coast of New Zealand by running supplies out to boats that were, or I should say, whaling ships that were on long voyages, relatively, well, I say long voyages, but really it's just that they decided that they wanted to stay out on the water for longer without making a supply run to shore. Occasionally this might be because they were attached bodily with ropes and harpoons to a whale.
Okay.
So the Weller Man, referring to a supply company run by, I believe it was the Weller brothers. That's the idea. It was, the Weller Man was the name for a ship run by the Weller brothers, and the song's chorus goes, "Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go."
DMCA'd.
Nah, bruh, it's a folk song.
Well, that doesn't stop Disney, but yeah.
Oh, sure, it doesn't stop Disney, but
I don't know. I've got no idea if there is
don't
any movie
expect
or
that-
something that is based on that. Yeah.
if there is, then
I'm
the longest...
tongue-in-cheek.
If
Tongue-in-cheek.
there is a problem with it, then the sea shanty band The Longest Johns will be in much more hot water than I will be anytime soon.
Right. Incidentally, today was also the day when I discovered... Well, I already knew, of course, that Elon Musk was sort of like king of the shit posters and the meme takers and all this kind of stuff. But
Oh yeah, obviously.
well, it may be obvious, but you appreciate that I'm also not really plugged into social media. So it was only when I started investigating Twitter, because I wanted updates on SN10, and I decided to quickly hop over on Reddit to SpaceX Master Race, just sort of get the lowdown in a quick and easy fashion. That I realized, and this led me inexorably to Elon Musk's Twitter page, that I realized just how much shitposting Elon Musk does.
Yes.
The reason why I bring that up is because there was one particular meme which he said this today, which is a picture of like a religious monk dude who is praying, and overlaid on that is a text which says, "Me trying to live a healthy and productive life," and then it's all in the picture of a sort of a medieval style painting, very very religious. And then right off to the side there is an equally medieval style painting, but picturing a rather buxom woman exposing herself to the artist in a manner of dress, possibly found alongside one might find alongside seaside establishments of dubious rapport, shall we say. And
You could have just said that this woman appeared to be a woman of negotiable affection, and we could have saved
Yes,
so
I could have
much
said
time,
that.
James.
Yeah, so she is exposing herself to the camera. Anyway, the point was that on top of that was the post, Seaman's Shanties. It's like, apparently this is what Elon Musk finds himself massively distracted by these days.
Well, I'm glad to know it's not just me.
Yeah. I've fallen down a hole.
Welcome to Minecraft.
Oh god, there's a zombie down here. There's an exploding bush monster.
They're called
And
creepers.
I've got no weapons. Hang on.
The plight of all Canadians.
Can I make myself a crafting table? I can't. I don't have enough wood. Hang on. Can I make myself... I can make myself that. Okay, now I can make myself a table. Now I can make myself a weapon. Okay. Give me a sword. A stone sword. Okay, I guess. It'll have to do. Right, Mr. Creeper.
Careful.
Stone swords better than wooden swords. I assume they are.
Stone swords are better than wooden swords. Be sure to back up after you knock him back.
Yeah. Where is he?
Disengage, then move back in after he stops hissing.
Yes, he's down a hole. He's coming at me. I lost half my health.
Because he blew up?
Yeah. He was away from me, but not far enough away from me.
Yeah, these things happen.
And I'm now falling down an underground river. At speed.
Yeah, those things definitely happen.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to starve to death down here. I'm just going to go underwater and let myself drown to death.
No, James, you have so much to live for.
Remember the Minecraft Slytherin manor I did in Minecraft based on the old plans? Svu, I remember I remember that this was an idea that we had. I don't remember us actually doing it though. You completed it. Huh.
I think I'm going to have to ask for a world download at some point so that we can do a tour.
Yeah. Oh wait, I think I remember it. I remember thinking at the time that yeah. I remember thinking at the time that my ideal Minecraft version of Slytherin Manor would have a higher resolution. such that you could oh god. Attack of the spam. Soren, you're gonna need to ban the bots.
Yes, I can see that now. Jeez, it's
There were
the
also
same
quite a-
spam message as last time. What in the good
I've had that.
goddamn?
Yeah, I've had this as well. It's nothing to be shocked about. They happen. Yeah, there were quite a few things on the Slytherin Manor I seem to recall that I would want to put in there. So, yeah, things like the staircases and the secret passageways and the dungeons and the layout of the rooms upstairs with the bathrooms and various other things. And probably make it bigger. Make it bigger so it's high resolution. And then preferably I would also like to put it on a massive hill as well. I would like to create a proper replica of Garce Island and put it up there as well, with the Granger Cottage down at the bottom of the hill as well, and preferably then also the passageway down to the Granger's underground laboratory, with the passage that leads out to the sea, and the passage that leads out, and the other passage which also leads out to the sea, which leads to the original submarine magic van's harbor spot.
There we go. Banned them.
But now we need a new vision based on one other user's plans. New version based on one other user's plans. Right. Oh, right, because yeah, I remember. I can't remember who it was, but someone else also made a version of Slytherin Manor, and that version of Slytherin Manor was pretty insane as well. Yeah, I remember that. It was very detailed. It's not the canon version, quite frankly, but I could certainly take elements from that and integrate them into the canon version. Yeah. And quite frankly, I think having a canon version that was on a Minecraft server would make for a far more interesting time. So yeah, that's potentially an interesting little project. The best way to go about doing that, I think, would be to learn how to work in a freestyle Minecraft rather than trying to build it from the ground up in survival mode.
You're talking about creative mode.
Yes, creative mode. That is what I am talking about. Because I'm aware that there are a lot of tools in creative mode.
It's mostly just... officially speaking, the tools of creative mode are that you can fly and have unlimited resources at your beck and call.
Right, but unofficially, you can also do lots of other things, like create whole topographies using outside of Minecraft. What's the second topic?
Okay, so very briefly, it has come to my attention that K-pop got a lot more, Yeah, thank you, Svu. K-pop started to gain attention back in 2012 with, Gangnam Style by Psy, and in the time since then, I think I've listened to a few other songs by Psy, but I didn't really get too much into K-pop as a whole, with one notable exception, and that was the point at which K-pop fandom overlapped with the Homestuck fandom. For some reason, there were a small number of K-pop songs, Nilili Mambo springs to mind that got really popular with Homestucks, and after that, when Homestuck was over, you know, apart from the fact that it seems to have been trying to come out of the grave ever since, that notwithstanding, they, that's not a good one. We're gonna have to try that
You were
again.
a lot quicker. You were a lot quicker the first time round.
What, getting to this stage?
Yeah, well, the first time we started doing this, you got to this stage within like within like 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, on the first try, I found iron a lot quicker.
Right. Yeah, the K-pop is an incredibly institutionalized system. I mean, well, I'm guessing. I mean, based on the fact that it looks like the Japanese system, kind of, and I've got some awareness of how ridiculously institutionalized the Japanese system is. Yeah, and also based off of my knowledge of how Korean esports works, and my assumption that I think my quite reasonable assumption that the Korean esports industry and the Korean music industry probably resemble each other in many cultural ways. Yeah. Vicious contracts, huge fines, 150%, not 1% in return. Lots of physical and mental breakdowns, yeah. Fans can be supportive, 90% extremely toxic, especially anti-fans from other stars, extremely volatile community. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm not surprised. So what about this fan-stuck movie then? Oh, sorry, this fan-stuck K-pop. I tried to find it. I found Mambo Stuck.
That's probably the one. Homestuck, fan-made animation pertaining to, or that used Nilili Mambo as the song for it. That was the last I noticed of K-pop for years and years. I think I also saw a couple different covers for the song Fantastic Baby. But that was about it. And then, all of a sudden, I wake up and discover that K-pop is suddenly far more searchable here in the West. And I would like to know, for one, what the fizzity-yuck is going on with that?
Well, what is going on with that? Let's have a look. I'm going to search for this right now.
Much obliged.
Okay, right. First off, let's go to Twitter, since Twitter is, the hub of everything. As they say, allegedly. It's also well, let me put it like this. It's the social media outlet which is the easiest to get into and the easiest to get out of, which, as far as I'm concerned, makes it the best one. So let's search for K-pop.
I was going to say Twitter, the best social media company as alleged by Twitter.
Yes. Well, that's quite likely. It's not trending. Let's try YouTube. Oh, I can't search for YouTube. I can't search for trending on YouTube because I blocked searching. I blocked trending on YouTube on my computer, so I can't do that.
Well done.
Yes.
You played yourself. Oh my god, I've got another floating island. Why? Why do you do this to me?
Congratulations! Only, yeah. Oof, yeah.
Yeah. This is all kinds of not good. Okay. If I bridge out in that direction, I might conceivably be able to jump in a way that doesn't get my ass killed. Where are they shooting me from? Oh, down there.
Well, that's interesting. So I googled K-pop news. I don't think there's any massive thing going on in the K-pop world right now, but
perhaps not right at this instant, but it remains highly searchable, right?
It looks like it, yes. Although I must say this top news bulletin from searching K-pop news on Google is sort of interesting, which is that the news reads this: these are the only K-pop groups with streaming certifications in Japan so far. So apparently, to stream in Japan, you need to get a license. Apparently.
Well, that's delightfully dystopian.
Yeah, apparently. Only 5 K-pop groups so far have earned one or more streaming certifications from the Recording Industry Association of Japan.
That'd cover more than, like, streaming video. That'd also be, like, streaming audio. So sort of like a broadcast license, but dealing with internet streams. That's far enough.
Apparently so. Apparently so.
Hike!
Oh, you lived.
Yes.
You live. I was not expecting that. Now eat your pork.
Yeah. Eat pork, recover health, find a way out of this hellscape. Well, you know, not out of this hellscape, but... Wrong way! Wrong way! Wrong way!
Oh, ouchie.
More pork.
ITZ talk English album and expanding their reach. K-pop is a global genre now, say K-pop band.
Okay. So today we've learned several important lessons. Yes, I can survive a jump of that height. However, I need to be more...
Hashtag impeach Biden now, hijacked by K-pop fans. Lol.
What?
What?
This is the first time I'm hearing of a movement to impeach Biden, let alone that it is being hijacked by K-pop fans. Please, tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, every single time I dip my toe into traditional media, I just feel the need to sort of shower afterwards. But okay, let's.
Oh sure, we can
let's
shower afterwards, but
let's
first,
just dive into
let's find out what the hell this is.
Okay. Update. In the hours after this article's publication, Variety was contacted by several people who believed their Twitter accounts had been suspended, participating in a hashtag takeover detailed below. In fact, the accounts responsible for 2 of the tweets embedded in this article have been suspended. While a rep from Twitter was unable to speak directly on this incident, they pointed to the section, the company's rules and policies, which seem to indicate that participating in such an activity is not itself a violation, although the individuals may have violated other policies while doing so. Okay, so that was just the update.
I see.
7 months... Okay, so apparently... Okay, I'm not sure if you want me to talk about this on stream, but apparently 7 months, this is all news to me, 7 months after K-pop fans famously took over the White Lives Matter hashtag, no idea what this is about, on social media in an effort to drown out racist online chatter. There has been no shortage of other events that seem right for such a move, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so apparently it's apparently a bunch of K-pop fans who are being political and deciding that they're going to take over a hashtag that wants to impeach Biden. Because not for any reason. Well, I assume that there's no good reason for it. I'm not plugged into this stuff.
The only reason I can think why people would want to impeach Biden would be over dissatisfaction with Trump losing the election.
Yeah, that was the conclusion I was about to jump to. It's that group of people who believe that was a thing that was legitimate.
Yeah.
That whole, which of course, yeah, bullshit. Anyway, okay, so in other words,
you're allowed to say that word louder on this stream, James. I did, in fact, earmark this as mature content. We're allowed to swear here.
Yeah.
That whole business was bullshit.
Okay, my point is that this news isn't actually that newsworthy. It's just a bunch of people on Twitter who are participating in the usual social media, the usual social media rubbish, which is why I don't do social media, because it doesn't matter what side you're on, you're just going to get into a shouting match. And I have more productive things to do with my time.
Good man.
Okay, so in other words, I can ignore
this. My time. I need to find a more efficient way to get to a relevant location.
Oh, you're talking... Okay, it took me a moment there to realize you were talking about Minecraft.
Yeah, remember when this was a gaming channel? 5 minutes ago?
Well, the way I pitched it on Twitter, it sounded like basically is that we were going to discuss interesting things while you played Minecraft.
I mean, that's definitely what we're doing, right?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I
we-
find it interesting. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it.
Oh, good. So what else have the K-pop stans been up to? Has any of it been on fleek?
I've got no idea what that means.
Me neither. That's the joke.
Right.
I'm flaunting how out of touch I am. On purpose.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
How are we doing on the sellout timer? I have one of those set, right? Oh, I accidentally paused it. How many people we got viewing this right now? Looks like it might still just be you and Sfu.
Looks like it, yeah. Also, I've not been keeping up with Sfu's posts. It's because I tabbed over to the social media stuff, so I'm now going to go through stuff. Let's see. Korea also has this weird ideal face hysteria. Oh yeah, that's right. I was literally about to comment on the fact that my biggest thing about K-pop is that every single K-pop artist looks, and I don't mean this in a racist way, because I've worked with Koreans before. I can tell Koreans apart.
Sure.
But all K-pop artists look kind of the same. And I don't mean this. Like I said, I don't mean this in a racist way. I mean this as in they have this weird face ideal thing where they all try and make their faces look as identical as possible.
Really?
Which is kind of interesting from a
sociological viewpoint.
Well, I cannot deny that when you look at an all-female K-pop group, the effect is sort of aesthetically pleasing. I can kind of understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, there is no because of this exact same thing. I feel no instinct whatsoever, even less than I usually do with many artists in the West. I feel no desire whatsoever to find out anything more about these people. I mean, that might also be part of the point. That might be a deliberate ploy on the part of the Korean music industry, as in they don't want their artists to develop social capital of their own. That might be a thing. I don't know. But yeah. It's
peculiar to be sure.
20% of girls in Korea undergo these cosmetic surgeries. Cultural pressure, also the idea where better face equals better husband or job. Well, that's not. Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong. Aesthetic beauty is a strategic advantage in almost any culture, and symmetry of face and moving towards what the culture perceives as the average that's how you get a beautiful face, because beauty in most countries is defined as the average as is seen by people on a daily basis. And I mean, when I say
have the least number of unsightly abnormalities.
Yes, exactly. When I say the average, I don't mean in the sense of, the average person, as in someone who actually looks, sort of only moderately, averagely attractive. I mean average in a mathematical sense.
As in you add up all their features and divide. Well, you take everyone's measurements and you divide by the number of people.
Yeah, exactly. You take all the vector measurements of a person's face and you average them out over people. I actually remember the scientific. Not the paper, obviously, because I was far too young at the time. But there was a TV show in the UK at the time called How Did They Do That? And one of the pieces that they did on that particular program went into the science of attractiveness, and they basically said that some scientists were trying to come up with some truly villainous faces because they needed some villainous faces for a study, because they needed some generic villainous faces. So what they did was they took a whole bunch of a whole bunch of criminal faces, and they said, right, well, if we just merge all of these really criminal faces together, then surely what we'll get is the ultimate criminal face, and we'll get something that looks really unattractive.
And lo and behold, Leo
behold,
DiCaprio stood revealed.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was pretty much it. Behold, what happened was is that the faces that they got out of this when they ran it through the computer simulation. This was like in the mid '90s. What they got out of the computer program when they all done was faces that were actually far more attractive than the faces that they put in when they started, and they actually realized, hey, we've just found an objective measure of attractiveness in society. It's the average of faces. Yeah. So that was, yeah. So anyway, the whole point about this is that this is what is going on in Korea. They've got this thing where there is a lot of pressure for facial plastic surgery, and we have plenty of pressure in our society for various treatments and surgeries, especially in modern society with social media and Instagram models and TikTok models and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, we haven't really gone down the face route yet. I think, yeah, I mean, well, you can speculate on all kinds of reasons why we haven't gone this route yet. I mean, we might do, we may not. Who knows?
The slowly atrophying remnants of individualism.
Quite. Although it won't actually work, because the whole point of this obviously is to create strategic advantage. But if you, oh god, I don't know what that is.
That's a magma slime.
Okay.
He can only bounce, so theoretically, not too much of a problem. But this is.
Ooh. Yeah.
You know, for
yeah, you can create strategic advantage by making yourself look more beautiful. But the problem with that is that strategic advantage is always a relative factor. So unless you have a class of individuals that can afford it and a class of individuals that can't, which we may also very well establish that as a thing in our society as well. I mean, we practically already have it. Well, practically, we do already have it. Unless that becomes even more pronounced, then that particular strategic advantage will be used up, and specifically women in our society who are looking for another strategic advantage will have to find something else, whatever that is. I'm not saying that men don't also go through with these things; they do. But I suspect that currently in our society, the pressure for plastic surgery and beauty surgery in general is probably more female focused than male focused. That's my suspicion.
With regards to your earlier comment about how I had gotten to the point I am now at within the first 10 minutes of my run the first time I did this with you watching.
Yep.
This is what I was meaning by RNG being a far more significant factor than we had previously thought. It's not just a matter of can you get iron, it's... well, it is in the very early stages a matter of can you get iron, but getting iron depends on other factors. Like, for instance, do you have what it takes to beat an iron golem to death in front of its creators using nothing more than, like, 2 cubic meters of timber and a stick you found on the ground? Do ya, punk?
Uh-huh. Well, very Dark Souls. Sort of Dark Souls level of challenge. A game I've never played, incidentally.
Ah. I thought you were drawing a comparison because it was a more familiar situation to you. Oh well.
Well, it is familiar. It's familiar culturally. I understand Dark Souls. I've seen streams of it. I've just never played it.
Fair enough.
And I understand its reputation.
Yeah.
And I understand the memes.
My understanding of Dark Souls beyond its memes begins and ends with... well, actually, no, it's not even beyond the memes. My My understanding of Dark Souls begins and ends with its memes, mostly to do with that song that goes, "Your journey, it began because you died. Out of your cell you ran because you died, and then you died. You paused to catch your breath and died another gruesome death, so now you creep around each corner terrified."
Sounds about right.
It's a catchy
Until you've
song.
mastered the game. Yeah, indeed. And until you've mastered the game, which point you run through the game at an absolutely crazy pace, blasting through every single boss like nothing.
Because you know exactly how to handle them.
Yeah.
And you have
And you
reached the
also know
kind
that-
of fine control that allows you to not have to worry about dying to a dumb mistake.
Well, you also have figured out exactly which challenges you can skip simply by running past them, which always amused me when I watched Dark Souls speedruns. There would be, a particular challenge which the first time round, well, not necessarily the first time round, but when you watch a first timer playing Dark Souls, they'd spend an inordinate amount of time fighting against this one particular enemy. And dying to it over and over and over again until they have figured out exactly how to handle it and how to defeat it. And then you have the speedrunner who literally just runs right past it and doesn't even look at it.
Yep. Well, James, it has been an interesting run here. However, I don't think I'm going to be finding any of the fortresses I need in a timely fashion.
No, you're gonna start again then?
I think so.
Go for it. Wah wah. Rip. Yeah.
I should mention that I do have a slightly less ignoble reason for doing all these Minecraft worlds than just I do have a slightly less ignoble reason to be doing this than just my desire to play lots of Minecraft.
Go on.
And that is, I am currently taking a course in data visualization this semester, and one of the projects requires that we accumulate a huge body of data about something that we ourselves are doing. So, as it happens, Minecraft maintains a library of statistics about your performance, which is unique to each world you play in.
Dude, why aren't you using this as your selling point?
What?
This should be your main selling point for your stream.
That I am doing data science to my Minecraft?
Yeah, and you should have like all kinds of crazy stat stuff all over your screen and stuff.
I mean, I
just
can
saying.
certainly try and figure out how to do that.
I mean, if you could pull the records, I mean, I don't know how you would do that, but I mean,
I do. I'll even explain it to you. So, each Minecraft world is not a single file. It's actually a whole folder buried in your app data folder under users roaming. Yeah, users roaming, or users app data roaming, or users roaming app data. One of those two situations. Anyways, this is a janky village. Anyways, under that world folder, there are a couple of JSON files, and JSON files can be converted to objects in Python. That's that's not a strange phenomena. Just about everything and its mother can be converted into a object in Python. But the important thing is, once it's been programmatically read in to a Python program, you can pretty easily strip the relevant data out of it. So the plan is I'm going to accumulate a huge number of Minecraft worlds and then write up a little Python program that's going to take all those JSON files and convert them into a CSV file that I can then do data science to. We're going to find out... We're going to find out how many runs I successfully got into the Nether for, how many I successfully found a Nether fortress on, what my cause of death, or my most frequent causes of death were.
Well,
all those fun things.
If you can take the data from the final file that you had, what was it, the
JSON file,
the CSV file or the JSON files, if you can get them into a text file, then you can use that text file as an overlay in OBS, and you can have it. You can have OBS pull dynamic text data from that file and have it displayed on the screen. So as the even potentially as the data is updating while you are playing the game.
Yeah, I was going to say I can probably have a Python script running in the background that constantly updates the text file.
Yeah, so you could have all kinds of interesting things, like, you know, the number of arrows that you've made, the number of, you know, the number of times you've entered the Nether, sure, but lots of other sort of random crap as well. Like the number of times that you've died to certain things, the number of times that you've taken damage while falling, the number of beds you've made, the number of times you've slept, the number of breads that you've made, the number of pigs you've killed. You know, you could do all kinds of interesting things. Then you could just have this as a running tally on the side of the screen.
Yeah. Excuse me, buddy. I'm breaking into your house, if you would stand aside.
You could call it something like the Grand University Statistics Project or something like that.
I mean, it certainly isn't either grand or anything else.
Yes, but marketing, my dude. This is puffery. You are allowed to do puffery. It is mandated by the courts.
Alright, fair enough. We can definitely look for a way to incorporate the data science angle directly into the stream content. However, I must confess to being more concerned with my... Nice. I must confess to being more concerned with my YouTube and Twitch statistics than I am with the actual performance metrics. The performance metrics for Minecraft are useful to me in figuring out if and how I am improving in Minecraft, and as far as the project goes for my homework assignment. But beyond that, I wouldn't consider them terribly intrinsically interesting. These beds I'm accumulating do in fact have a purpose, mind you. These beds are going to be deployed as explosive ordnance at a later point. Trust me, I'm a science guy. I know how to make beds explode for great fun and profit. And you know, I'm just going around looting an entire village, because that's how we do things here.
Famous plastic surgeon names twice Tizu, who is one of the girls in this particular J-pop band, group, ensemble, whatever you want, as one of the faces clients usually ask for.
Wow.
God. So I want her face. Give me that. You know that really popular song dance person on TV. Yeah, give me her face.
That's
that one. The one with the hair.
Good grief.
I know, right?
Okay, well, I've got a fair bit of iron pickaxes, but only a limited supply of, what do you call them? a negligible supply of iron bars. However, we can fix this. I saw an iron golem back there. And I am going to risk another encounter with my leading cause of overworld deaths in order to get me that sweet, sweet minerals. There he is. Watch this. I'm about to get myself killed. Possibly. We can hope not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the important thing. He's neutral now, but as soon as I start trying to hit him, he's going to very suddenly not be.
Yeah, I can see why that might be the case.
Okay. Hold still, guy. This is a good spot.
Are you gonna... Is that an iron golem?
Yep.
And presumably you want to kill him because he's got iron.
That's the idea.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Smack away. I'm gonna say this is very unsportsmanlike.
Oh, of course it is. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
That guy's got a punch weight that can one-shot me.
Right.
And with that kind of a disadvantage, sportsmanship can take a flying leap.
I thought you said that when you attack those guys, all their other dudes around them attack as well.
Oh, only if there are other iron golems. These guys, the testificates, they are a bunch of little sissies. And I see where one of their other houses has spawned way over here. Who knows? He's got useful materials on hand. And I hear a skeleton. So
I've never had raw pork in Germany, so.
Where is he asking that?
It's in the chat. I've never had Mitbrötchen. I think the close... No, I've never had that. I don't think so. I've got no idea if they're similar. I don't think I've even ever encountered it before. I've had Leberkäse, but I know that's not... Obviously, that's not raw pork. But that's what... When I think of... yeah. Actually, I don't know if you're still in the chat. Sorry, continue. Sorry, continue. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think that the testificates might have additional dwellings on top of this cliff above me. This one specifically. For the moment, we're going to sleep out under the stars, so that we don't get inundated with skeletons.
I must say, I'm not entirely sure how Twitch works from a recording user's perspective, because on my profile right here, it says we've got two viewers.
Yep.
One of which I assume is me.
Yep.
But if I click on users in chat, there are 6.
Oh, that's the total number of people who have been in the chat.
Oh, okay. Right.
So that necessarily counts the 2 spam bots that I've banned.
Okay, right.
Which, you know, still leaves... Oh, hello. The other viewer is me, by the way. Hello.
Yep.
Ulan.
Hey, Ulan. Hey, Ulan. Good to see you. Jamie. Wow.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever been given that nickname before.
Interesting. Well, they've got a campfire and a road up here, but it doesn't look like they've got any huts. Oh, more road, maybe? Hopefully. Come on. Oops.
I'm still waiting for the Harry Potter RPG so that I can stream that.
The Harry Potter RPG.
Yeah, they're coming out with a Harry Potter RPG at some point.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We don't know much details about it. We don't know if it's going to be an MMO or if it's going to be like Shadows of Mordor or something like that. Mike. No, Jamie is probably better. Jamie is best. Yeah. I don't really have much of a preference either way.
We could
honestly.
go full
You can call
chaotic.
me-
We could go
You
full
can call me
chaotic
what you
evil
want.
and start calling you Jimbo.
Jimbo. Oh God. Yeah, that's a thing. Again, I'm not really that fussed. I've been called many things throughout my life. Some of the nicknames that I had in school were interesting. Yeah, they weren't usually based off my first name. Because British, British schools. Ergo, as you are aware, if you if you read the Harry Potter stories, people who are not the best of friends in schools. I mean, not so much these days. I don't actually know, but certainly when I was in school, you would generally refer to people by their first names, but not always. And often you would sometimes refer to people by their last names, especially if you weren't on speaking terms with them, or if you weren't like the best of friends. It would be completely common to refer to someone by their last name. I know that a lot of people generally find that to be a weird thing, but that was genuinely a thing that people did. I'm certainly aware that I do occasionally come across American fan fiction writers who point out the whole calling people by their last names thing and commenting about how weird it is. And it is, it is. But at the same time, it is a thing that goes on in some places. We don't refer to anyone by their last name. Yeah. We certainly refer to teachers by their last name. So we would call people like, Mr. Brown or Mr. Spencer or Miss Button or whatever.
We got the same thing over in Canada, although I don't know anyone who's ever been named Button.
Call your school head by a nickname. Well, to be fair, in the Harry Potter world, we do too. Call him Dumbles. But the canon refer to him as either Dumbledore or, in Hermione's name, just the headmaster. Hermione doesn't even call him Dumbledore. Well, actually, no, she does. She does refer to him sometimes as Dumbledore. But often she refers to him as the headmaster. Yeah, not to his face, you don't, exactly.
I remember the head of school at my high school. It was a private school, so it was definitely a head of school and not a principal. We had two of them. The replacement one came in during my last year there, and I don't think either of them had nicknames the entire time I was there.
Yeah, I don't think mine did
very much
either.
a case of out of sight, out of mind. We didn't really see them outside of assemblies, and even then, Mrs. Pennells wasn't on the minds of most of the students I was acquainted with, which, in fairness, is a pretty small sampling of students, because of all the people in my grad class, I could probably only name... I could name fewer than half of the people in my own grad class if I were actually looking at pictures of them. Because the only ones whose names I actually remember were either pleasant enough that I learned their names, had names that were long and intricate enough that the teachers made a point of practicing pronouncing them when they were calling attendance, or the people who were annoying enough that I learned who they were because it was difficult just to ignore them. So, I was not friends with either of the kids in my year who had really long names, but I sure do remember their names. Sudasit Swivasarvacha and Paranat Thirawatnawang.
Damn. Yeah, those are some names.
We generally called them Soot and Nat.
Ha! There you go. Everyone greets our school head as Chima, which is a nickname that has absolutely nothing to do with his real name. Yeah. Yeah, I'm currently on SpaceX Master Race.
Oh, what are they doing over there?
Well, at the moment, they seem to be just glorying in the fact that there are currently 2 SN starships that are rolling off the pad towards the landing pad. Sorry,
hey.
there's one already there, and there's another which is trundling along, because the last 3 attempts to launch SN9 didn't happen because the FAA said no.
Gotcha.
And so SN10 is currently rumbling its way towards the launch pad, and so we now have lots of pictures of 2 starships in the same picture, and so there are lots of posts about, sort of starships with anime faces that are talking to each other, and starships with, space with a Spider-Man with the sort of that famous meme of the 2 Spider-Mans pointing at each other, and things like this.
Gotcha. But my alarm just went off, and you know
that means you need
what that means.
Yeah, you know. Yes, I do know what that means. Go for it.
Hello, Ulan. I'm speaking to you directly through the power of Minecraft. I can see from my activity feed that you have not yet followed this Twitch stream. You'd better do it, though, because I am trying to get a reasonable number of followers such that Twitch begins pimping me out to their general user base. You can also find me over on YouTube, Tavy the Terrible on YouTube. I'll start posting compilations, and you can see all my back-end issues in perpetuity, including last week's conversation in which we discussed how James has a dragon maiden kink. It's a thing! Go check it out! Subscribe! Follow! Comment! Generate engagement!
Dude, you need to move your mouse around more.
Yep, I get it.
Dynamic.
We've got dynamic camera angles, Ulan! Do it!
There you go.
Follow us!
Okay, there you go. You done now?
I think so.
Excellent. Practice makes perfect.
Provided, of course, that they actually press the button. We see it when you press the button, Ulan!
Okay, dude. Get on with it. As in, get on with your Minecraft game. Just get on with it now.
Alright,
get on with it.
Gotta reset the timer so I remember when to do it next time. And actually make sure it's working this time. There we go. Oh, we shall see, shall we?
Bro.
Too high and mighty for the likes of your author and their weird friend, huh?
Dude, don't bring me into this. This is your stream. Ulan subscribed to mine. Well, follows mine, anyway.
Yes, I'm definitely James's weird friend. I'm pretty sure I've got that.
Evidently.
I've got that slot nailed down.
Yeah. What else have I been doing? Oh, I'm also halfway through. I'm currently halfway through The Emperor's Finest, Caiaphas Cain Book 7.
Book 7?
Yep.
I didn't even know there were that many. Okay.
There are 10. I don't know if that constitutes the entire series or whether or not it's ongoing, but there are currently 10 books in the series. So I'm currently halfway through Book 7, and I am happy to report that we have definitely found the series' tsundere character now.
Oh, jeez. Not Amberly?
Yeah. No, not Amberly. Although she does make a point of being, I don't know, like the comment section, like sometimes. I don't want to say she sounds competitive, but part of me thinks she sounds a little competitive. Not entirely. She it sounds a little competitive at some point. Yeah, not really that competitive, but there are some points where I'm thinking, yeah. Obviously, this is entirely relevant to the story. I'm sure everyone reading this really needs to know about your dress choices and why you choose certain dresses over the others compared to this other woman.
I was going to say, it seems a little out of place considering the in-universe intended audiences of her edited manuscript are her co-workers.
Yeah. Okay, Ulan. Introductions. I assume you mean Soren. Soren here is a friend who I've had for quite a long time now. We met a couple of years back. And you will know him as the voice for the first 11 or 12 chapters of the Dodging Prison and Stealing Witches audiobook. He is the narrator of that.
Yes, I got the job by sending an unsolicited recording of the first chapter.
And... Okay, yes. Ferro, you want to introduce him to you. Okay, this is Ulan. I don't know how heavily you want me to introduce yourself, Ulan. I mean, do you want me to expand entirely, or what?
I mean, I've certainly got space on it. It's not like we're generating any other kind of engagement here.
Well, the only reason I ask is because Ulan is generally rather, I don't want to say shy, but she deliberately doesn't sort of go out of her way to put herself out there in the Discord. I mean, she does do stuff in the Discord. Just the overarching narrative. Okay, this is Ulan. We met about I can't remember. We didn't met during the pandemic, obviously, so it was the year before that. So we met about a year and a half ago, I'm guessing. She was here in Cyprus. We met up. We had a couple of drinks.
I think I've heard this story somewhere along the lines about a fan who came to visit you in Cyprus.
Ah, there you go. Okay, so you are already familiar then.
I didn't know that this was their screen name, though.
Ah, well, okay. This is Ulan's screen name. There you go. Yeah. And she is currently heavily editing Trial by Conquest.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So the both of us are insiders on the Liedvani industrial complex.
Yes, although although I should point out that she does not know spoilers.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I will refrain from commenting on how Snape kills Dumbledore.
You're going to keep on ragging on about that.
Oh, yeah, it's the only Harry Potter spoiler I know, James.
Well... Oh, Ulan, there is a lot you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the entire plot of the story, for starters. But you don't want to know it because, spoilers. Yeah.
Well, that's a little unfair. She may want to know. It's just a question of whether or not we're going to continue leveraging the fact that I know and you don't. So you should subscribe so you can find out when I'm streaming so that you know if I slip up.
No, you're not going to slip up, Soren.
Oh, yes, I definitely know.
Yeah, I would like to point out, Soren, at this point that, one of my favorite quotes from Yes Minister, although it's technically not a quote from Yes Minister, it's technically a quote from Francis Bacon. But Sir Humphrey Appleby does at one point say, "He that would keep a secret should keep it secret, or must keep a secret, that he had the secrets to keep." Nevertheless, I do have somebody that I bounce ideas off of. Followed. Nice. I do have ideas. I do have someone that I bounce ideas off of, and Soren is generally that dude. Yeah. Especially in regards to stuff.
Mind you, Ulan, turnaround is fair play, because just as James bounces ideas off of me for his creative writing, I get to bounce ideas off of him for my creative writing, which is how he ended up reading out loud a manuscript which terminated with the phrase, "the glistening 18-inch length of his throbbing lupine member." I got James to say that sentence out loud, and it was hilarious.
Can I just point out, Soren, that even though Twitch does have a mature rating, and you can rate streams as mature, that doesn't mean that you are allowed to say anything on Twitch stream.
That's fair
I just like to remind you of this. I don't believe that Soren was forward-thinking enough, Ulan, to record me saying this.
I was not forward-thinking enough to record James's dramatic reading of my crap post of a original fiction.
You've got plenty of original fictions in the work. You are a prolific. I am a
prolific writer of first chapters.
Yeah, you are a prolific first chapter writer.
Would it kill this world to give me a pool of standing lava?
Can't you just, like, keep digging down into the earth deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually you'll hit it?
I mean, yes, I can definitely do that, but it's not very time efficient.
Well, you're not finding one, are you?
Alright, well, oh ho ho ho.
We found something.
How the turntables.
How the table turns? Well,
no.
Yes, that is.
What I said and what I meant was how the turntables, because, you know, I hang out on Tumblr some of the time, and they make jokes about The Office, which I still haven't watched, and don't plan to.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the lines there, somebody said, well, how the turntables, and I'm pretty sure it was,
You found iron.
Well, yeah, I've been finding iron for a while now, and I've got about as much iron as I realistically need for this. Unfortunately, the question now becomes, can I find a source of standing lava that I can use?
I assume you're referring, Ulan, to the fact that you also write first chapters? Well, you found an abandoned mine, at least.
Yeah, and at least in theory, there may be sources of lava somewhere in this general vicinity. We're getting lower, and if we keep going down, we may eventually find something.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Point out that you have
geez, we are still, in fact, pretty high.
Something by the time I've finished writing the message, you've gone 5 thoughts away. Yep. This is Oh wow, that's an amount of information there.
I have to point out to you the evidence on that. By the time
it's the nature of Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a definite drawback from the participants' viewpoint.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Although I would say it's usually there is a covenant between. Well, I don't say usually because often there is a covenant between Twitch chat and streamers, simply because Twitch chat, although there are obviously individuals involved in Twitch chat, the idea is that Twitch chat is a group gestalt entity. I just want to talk. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's
well.
Fair.
That's up to Soren. That's up to Soren. Maybe you can get Ulan on as a talking guest on at some point. Who knows?
Yeah, I made the offer to Sfu because I wanted to fill in my guest slot for a weekday stream. Is Ulan also Ulan over on your Discord server?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I will get in touch.
I would like to point she may or may not agree. Yeah, just warning you. Oh, I don't know. Actually, maybe I am misjudging. You know, maybe she would really like to. To take the role that I am currently serving on Soren's stream for 1 or 2 episodes. To be his voice in the background while he is playing Minecraft.
Precisely.
To chat and interact and generally talk about stuff.
That's the general idea, yes.
Probably to an audience of none. Or one. Or very few. Because that's currently the nature of the stream.
The only audience I get around here is whatever audience gets drawn in by James's tweets.
Yeah.
We need to generate we need to generate engagement for the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
I might do it exactly for that reason. Which reason, Ulan? I missed the reason. We had many of them.
I think it was something to be dragged in because of well, actually, I'll let Elon. No one will hear. There you go. There you go.
Ah, I see. I definitely shouldn't tell you about how all of these Twitch streams get exported to YouTube after the fact, then.
Yeah, how many YouTube subscribers have you got?
Currently 0, I think, but I'm going to start plugging myself on Facebook to my friends and family and all those people that I used to LARP with.
Yeah, if you're going to take this seriously, you should definitely look into YouTube algorithms and how to go about creating. Basically, as far as I can tell, the way to play this game at the moment is and you may say duh, but the way to play this game is to create high quality content, whatever high quality content means, and to create it as often as you damn well can.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it as well. Although I did see a video by the Spiffing Brit last night in which he outed a aspect of the YouTube algorithm that was broken and which he had made numerous complaints about because it wasn't getting fixed. But in order to use that exploit, I need to get to 1,000 or possibly 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
We've got a ways to go.
Well, at that point, you will be doing very well enough for yourself, quite frankly. At that point, you will be, at
that point, the algorithm might just start genuinely caring about me enough to start promoting me. But the alternative is...
Well, by definition, it will be.
Okay, I'll let you in, since you guys are live on the stream with me, or possibly to you, unnamed audience member who are listening in on this behind the scenes. But in my ongoing project of market research and trying to figure out how I can beat the algorithm, I have come across an alternative strategy that might well be worth the time to look into.
I suggest you keep it to yourself. Or at least tell me off air.
Well, it does require a bit of funding, so I'll only say about it that my use of it will be contingent on whether Gamestonk blows up.
Ah, right. Gotcha.
I will only be exploring the option of employing that strategy if I get those sick capital gains off of my 3 shares.
3 shares, that's the thing. You need Diamond Hand. Just hold. Just keep holding. It's for the, it's for the cause.
Yeah, it's all in a good cause of punishing the laxness and nudge nudge wink wink, this is definitely not insider trading attitude of major hedge funds.
Well, it's not insider trading, it's just market manipulation.
Well, yeah, but the part of it that is nudge nudge wink wink, not insider trading at all, is the fact that they're all chummy with one another and aren't going to do this sort of thing to one another.
Yeah, but that's what I mean when I say it'd be insider. My point is that insider trading is a very specific thing with a very specific definition.
Yeah,
and it's not that.
Only in the legal sense.
Yeah,
there are definitely things that if insider trading was not a strictly illegal term, then I think the behaviors that we're seeing where they have gentlemen's agreements with one another not to step on each other's toes would also come under that heading.
Well, that's called anti-competitive behavior. That's what that's called.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That has its own definition.
Yeah, but that's under antitrust legislation, and that sort of thing shouldn't exist to begin with by my politics.
Yeah. Anyway, Ulan, the way this works technically is very simple, actually. Soren here has got the OBS all set up, so you don't need to worry about that. Literally, all you need is a microphone, preferably a good one, but it doesn't have to be great. But, you know, it's good if it's as good as possible. And you then just join him on a call on Discord, and Soren will route the Discord call through to his OBS, and then you will be heard on OBS. And then you just watch the stream through a Discord stream that he will put on his. He will share his screen with you on Discord.
Precisely.
And that's how it works. You don't have any microphones. Okay, well, you would definitely need a microphone. You won't be able to talk with people if you don't have one of those. So yeah, that is the one technical requirement that you can't really get out of.
But your brother
might have one. Ah, cool. So yeah, that's the thing. That's how that would work. Literally all you'd need is a microphone. Hang on a minute. How did we talk then the last time we chatted? Yeah. I mean, what are you using? Are you using like a laptop? Because that might have a microphone built in. Oh, you were on your phone. Okay. Well, you could always join on your phone. I mean, you'd probably want to, make it sure it's plugged into a power supply before you do that, but you could do that.
Yeah.
Still using your phone, yeah.
Plugged into a power supply and definitely not on your data.
Yeah, not on your data either. That's right, yeah. Definitely on Wi-Fi.
And if you do ask your brother to borrow his microphone, then the obvious way to do that most effectively would be to tell him that you've had an amazing opportunity to be a invited guest on the Twitch stream of a up-and-coming Twitch streamer who is popular in your online community of James's followers.
Yeah. There you go.
Well.
Okay, so let's hear it.
He asked, and I quote...
What are you referring to? Are you referring to Soren?
Is he popular at all?
Well, the answer. Well, if you're talking about Soren right now, then the answer is emphatically no. But that's all. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I mean, you're here, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm popular with the crowd of people who already like James's content. Sorry for that audio disturbance. Now my...
He's 13! Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Ask him if he watches Tommy Innit.
What?
Another Minecraft Twitch streamer. It's a safe bet. Tommy Innit is popular with the younger set. However, he's also got millions of viewers.
Well, you have to be... Yeah, but I mean, millions of viewers. There are a lot of people. It's still a niche thing, even with millions of viewers.
Oh, sure.
Oh, but he knows about him. Okay.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
More than I do.
Ask him if he ask him if he watches anyone on the Dream SMP.
I must admit, I do find it interesting that the accepted social credit at the moment is likes and favorites. I mean, obviously, I know that the accepted social credits amongst, especially amongst teenagers at the moment, is likes and follows and various things on social media. Obviously, I know that intellectually. It's very interesting to encounter it, though.
Finally!
Considering how little I think of it. Oh, you've got redstone. Is that redstone?
Yeah, it is, but it's basically useless in this playthrough. And
So what are you finding about? I thought you found lava ages ago.
No, I only just now found standing lava. I've been walking past flowing lava for ages now.
Ah. And he's listening in. Cool. Well, hello there, Ulan's brother.
What the hell was that noise?
I have no idea. What was it?
I don't know. That's why I was asking. I appreciate you're not the person to be asking that sort of a question, but still.
He's disturbed by this whole thing. Truly, is he? What exactly is it that he is disturbed by? I am most curious.
Yeah, Ulan's brother, what's disturbing you about this?
Oh, I remember meeting your younger brother.
When did you?
Oh, the younger. Well, when Ulan was in Cyprus, she was here with the family.
See. Gotcha.
I met her younger brother then.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That you're going to be a Twitcher.
Oh my god, is that?
Oh god.
Is that what the cool kids are calling Twitch
Twitcher.
streamers? I'm a
Twitchers.
Twitcher?
Well, they call them. Well, they call YouTubers, don't they? He just remembered me. There we go. So anyway, yeah, I was that guy.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to work on that one now because.
What, Twitcher?
Yeah, because if what I'm doing, if what I am now is a Twitcher, then there's an obvious implication that is just begging to be exploited.
Parkinson's.
What? No.
Continue.
Why on earth would you think that, James? That's just horrible.
Continue. I've got that kind of sense of humor.
Oh yeah, I've noticed. And it's a problem. No, what I was thinking of is...
You're doing it, so it's cool now, yeah. So what were you thinking of?
I was thinking of the song Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. There's an obvious way that I can rejigger that song now that I know that all the cool kids, including Ulan...
Oh, toss a coin to your Twitcher.
Yeah, exactly. I was just trying to think of something a bit less obvious than that exact phrasing.
Well, yeah, but why would you? I mean, why would you want anything different? I mean, that's the joke, isn't it?
Well, yes, but my problem is that I'm trying to think of the correct verb. I don't want people literally throwing coins at me, James.
No, you do.
I need to incorporate
throw money at the screen.
Yeah,
just.
I don't want them to throw money at their screen. I need to find a way to phrase the verb that I actually need them to do. I mean, better follow your Twitcher. Oh, yeah. I don't have a alternative for Oh Valley of Plenty yet, but we'll work on it for when Ulan's on the stream.
Yeah. So as you may have noticed, Ulan, Soren sings as well, so you'd be perfect together.
Oh, really? Ulan's a singer.
Well, yeah.
What sort of stuff do you sing, Ulan?
Read the last comment.
Oh, sorry. You said you could sing it in your stream. I thought you were saying that I could sing it on my next stream, and I was thinking, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Click subscribe for your... Click subscribe for your Twitcher. Oh, random reviewer. Oh, random reviewer. Oh...
Yeah, there you go. Well, if nothing else, you could certainly package that as a Twitch. Sorry, pardon me. You could certainly package that into into a collection of assets that Twitches. Sorry, that word. Just
subscribe to your Twitcher, oh random viewer, oh random viewer, oh. Click subscribe to your Twitcher, oh random viewer, oh. There you go.
Yeah,
we'll work on it.
Well, you certainly need to use the assets you've got, and there is no doubt that you've got a reasonably good voice for the singing.
Yeah, all that prancing around in tights had to be good for something.
Quite.
Oh, you used to be able to play the piano cover of it. Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
I admit that my piano repertoire is currently confined to a song from Homestuck.
In last January when it was cool. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You just wait long enough and eventually it'll come back to being retro. And then you're in the money. Or alternatively, you just don't care.
Nuts. That was way too close.
I mean, let's face it, we are the kind of people who beat the rhythm of our own drum. Who... Hang on, what's the right phrase there? Who dance to the rhythm of our own drum beat? Is that it?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I have made a terrible mistake, James.
Having said that, if you want to chase algorithms, then you need to worry about what's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, after all, why else would I say phrases like on fleek?
Couldn't I just be on this stream somehow, though? I'm pretty sure that this stream is going to end pretty soon.
Yeah, it is. We've been at this for 2 hours, 11 minutes-ish.
Yeah.
And I've just realized that I did not bring any flint down here with me into this mine. So we're going to be shoveling away at the gravel that I did bring with me until one of them turns into a piece of flint.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Ha! Convenient.
I mean, that's always a statistical possibility.
Hmm. And now we see you going into the warp.
Again, James, it's called the Nether. Do please try to pay attention.
At least you're not on an island this time.
I'm not educating you for my health. Except in a very abstract sort of way.
Hmm.
God, that song really is an earworm. I am glad we thought of that. Hit subscribe to your Twitcher, oh random reviewer, oh random reviewer, oh.
I have played Minecraft Ulan, but it was a very long time ago and I didn't play it for long. A lot has changed since then. There have been a lot of updates. I certainly never played it for long enough to get into the Nether.
Oh, there goes the sellout timer again.
Oh god. Well, Ulan's already followed, so there's literally no point in doing it.
But we do have another audience member, James.
Who?
Ulan's brother! This is a call out! Follow me on Twitch! Promote me to your friends! I'm cooler than Tommy in it! I'm cooler than all those sods!
Well, according to
Press
him,
the button!
The challenge. Also, if he's watching over Ulan's shoulder, then he can't press the button because he doesn't have his own separate Twitch account. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
Just yeah.
I mean, it could also just be that if they're watching over Ulan's shoulder, they might not, or they just might not be at their own device at this moment.
Okay, do it again.
Okay, do it again.
Ulan is commanded. Go for it. Go.
Ulan's brother! Follow me on Twitch! I'm cooler than Tommy in it! It's a low bar to clear, but I cleared it! Hit the follow button! Do it!
Dynamic
Do it
movement.
now!
Dynamic movement.
I've got close-ups! I've got long shots! I've got rotating camera pans! Do it! Do it! Follow me!
Dude, you really need to preserve your voice. You're gonna like destroy your throat doing that.
I mean, it's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
I also need to stop aping Technoblade so much because the sellout timer is also a Technoblade thing.
Hey, if that is a Technoblade thing, then that is a good innovation. You should keep that. Definitely keep that. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, be sure to tune
I
in.
approve of this.
Be sure to tune in for the second stream of Saturday, which starts at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So, what time is it now? That'll be about 3 hours and a quarter from now. I will be on with my, I will be on with my classmate T-Mech, and, he and I will be doing our survival multiplayer, and maybe I will even further imitate Technoblade by finally setting up a bell that I ring in universe. Like, the villagers have bells that we can tack to the wall and repeatedly spam click to
You got a pity follow. Congratulations.
Yep.
Everyone has to start somewhere.
Definitely. And, you know, it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably better than, what I can expect from the people I used to LARP with.
Hmm.
There he goes. Alright, well, thank you, Ulan. Thank you, Ulan's brother. Tune in this afternoon for the exciting continuation of the scuffed survival multiplayer. James won't be there, but I will be. And hey, I'm the one who sings, so obvious selling point there.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I think I'm gonna have to sign off because I need to eat something between now and then.
Yeah, and I need to go to bed because you know it's getting late. Ish,
Right.
Sort of.
Time zones. They be like that.
They
This
are.
world is going nowhere.
You gonna throw yourself into the lava? Yes, you are. Ah!
Thank you for tuning in. It's been real.